Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast reviews edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friends. I'm going to start with the person immediately below me. Chubax, say hi.
Hello, what's up? Yeah, it's Chubax. Call me Chubax.
Yay. Yes, yes, we concur. We'll talk about that later. But below him, it's another
Had
one of
to
our
end
brothers,
someday.
another one of our bestest best friends. He's waking up at an ungodly time in the Pacific, in the West Coast to join us. Arnie, say hi.
Hello there, people.
There you go. If this is your first time hopping onto the channel, welcome. Thank you very much. Grab your brother, your sister's phone, your parents' phone, all your friends' phone. Go to YouTube and then search plus 63 HP and like and subscribe to our channel there as well. Help us develop this community of like-minded individuals who enjoy content and sharing content with the people that they love. If you don't want to watch us on video on demand, you just want to listen to us, be in the background while you're doing your chores or doing some work. We are also in every single podcasting app imaginable. Just search plus 63 HP. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. And please interact with us. We're also in the socials, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook with the handle at plus 63HP. Talk with us, talk to us. Let's converse about all the things that we drop weekly on this channel. Speaking of the content that we drop weekly, on Mondays and Tuesdays, we have one series of the week that we discuss, one movie of the week that we discuss, review, and give our ratings so that you are informed whether you should watch it. On Wednesdays, we record our very first D&D campaign and publish it on our channel as well. So that's a fun couple of middle-aged people doing their first D&D campaign. We were never able to do it when we were young. Now that we can, we are. And on Thursday, we have a curation of clips, featurettes, videos, trailers that we react to and see how hyped we are about those upcoming content. So come be hyped with us. Next week, our series of the week is a little Netflix series called Resident Evil Season 1. Really cool tweets and reviews dropping of late about that particular series, that particular season. We are watching it this week. We're going to discuss it next week for you and see what we thought about that series. But on this episode, very happy to tell you guys that we are discussing the second half of the beloved Disney Plus MCU series, Miss Marvel. So we are discussing episode 4, episode 5, and episode 6 before my brother Arnie gives us the plot, the synopsis of the back half of Miss Marvel. Chubax, give us the non-spoilery initial reactions of Miss Marvel from you.
Probably my favorite MCU Disney Plus series
Mhm.
of the lot.
Mhm.
That's my initial reaction.
Arnie, how about you?
Same as Chubax. I'll probably it's a close tie, or maybe just a little bit ahead. Moon Knight. I still love Moon Knight better, but this is like way up there. Yeah.
Same with me. I have a little bit of a differing opinion. I really love this series. I think it is either, you're right, Arnie, like it's anywhere between 1 to 3 because I still love Loki and WandaVision and Moon Knight.
WandaVision.
So I don't know how it shakes, but it's very top of the MCU rankings in my personal list. However, this back half was a little bit of a mess. There were things that they had to pack in because the thing with these Disney Plus series, they actually don't know how many seasons they will have. So
Yeah.
you have to have it semi-contained. You have to have it be part of this bigger cinematic universe. But also you have to leave a little bit for some spectacle and some like big stuff, because again, it is a comic book movie still. The
Hmm.
things that I love about the series, most of them were in the first half. So I
Hmm.
rewatched this again before trying to review this. So that's kind of like my initial reaction, which is weird because I love, again, this. Some days I was thinking maybe this is my number two, and right behind Loki.
Hmm.
But sometimes I think it's number one because everybody can watch it, and it's just a fun,
Hmm.
light, very layered thing about not just superhero, but a culture that we don't see a lot on TV portrayed the way that it should be. So that is
Yeah.
my initial reaction. We'll dive in deeper about what we like, what we don't like about the back half and the entire series of Mr. Marvel. But before that, Arnie, take it away. Hit us with the plot.
All right. So episode 4. So just a quick recap. So at the end of episode 3, Kamala's grandma calls her, tells her to go to Karachi. So jump forward to episode 4, they go to Karachi. Even the credits reflected that it's not Jersey City anymore, it's Karachi.
They did
And
shoot
just like,
there.
yeah, and they I think they shot there too, right? If
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken. Uh, and just like with Moon Knight with the Egypt scenes, there was no yellow filter, there's no poor people filter. It's just like as if they're just shooting in New York or something like that. So that's pretty appreciated by, I guess, the community and yeah, non-American audiences. Like, oh, finally they're showing a different city that's just a different city, that not just um, and then there, of course, it started, just like if you're, we're all immigrants, or like, just like with me, whenever I go back to the Philippines, you have your cousins there, all the family drama. uh, and then, oh yeah, they'll take you to this place, take you to that place, and of course, Kamala's like, she's sweaty, she's not used to the food because
Spicy
everything's too
food. Mhm.
too spicy for her and all that.
She's wearing pants, which
She's
was
wearing pants, and she was not allowed to go to this restaurant because she
mhm.
didn't know there was a dress code, blah blah blah. And then in the middle of the episode, we meet the Red Daggers. I
Red
think the guy's
daggers.
name is Kareem, and then we also meet their leader Waleed. I think Waleed was a popular actor in Pakistan, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken, or so. But yeah, so the Red Daggers. So it seems like this. It's kind of like the assassins, or like this secret group of people that protects our dimension against the Nur or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or the clandestines, or the jinns. So we get a little bit more background on the clandestines and what is the veil of the Nur or something like that. And then of course they get interrupted by the clandestines because they tracked Kamala down in Karachi, still trying to get her bangle or force her to open the veil, until we get like that scene. So there's like a chase scene, and you
Uh,
know um, as somebody who's had chase scenes in Star Wars that were slow, this is a great change of pace.
that's
It's
good.
like
Yeah.
it was an actual chase scene, and it's actually shot really well.
Yep.
Um, and then you could see, during that Red Dagger scenes too, they were also training Kamala on how to use her power, so she's able to control the light, Noor magic, or whatever powers
Noor.
she is. So she's able to be of help when during the chase scene as well. And then we jump into the Department of Damage
Damage
Control.
control.
So in episode 3, we saw that they arrested the clandestines, but they managed to escape because, I kind of saw that coming because they just showed nameless guards guarding
Mm-hmm.
them. If it had the main two characters, I would have seen, okay, they will probably be in prison, but it's just, nameless goons. So they escaped. But of course, the mom, I'm forgetting her name right now, but Najma, she's like, well, Kamran, you tried to help Kamala, so we're abandoning you. You're kind of like cut off right now. I'm disowning you. And then they're all
Mm-hmm.
going to Karachi. So going back to Karachi, So there's a fight scene between Najma and Kamala, and Najma, I don't know, tried to stab her with a knife, but Kamala was able to block it with the bangle, and then the episode ends with Kamala seemingly transporting back in time during the time of the partition. So that's the quick roundup of episode 4. And then we jump into, in my opinion, my favorite episode of the series, episode 5.
Oh, for me, it was the weakest for me. I don't know
Oh,
why.
yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
But for me, it's because of Aisha. I mean, come on.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
that's
she's
what
good.
I say so.
And then basically,
She's
it's
hot.
that episode is just a backstory of Kamala's family, at least on her mom's side. So Aisha, as you know, as we've seen in, I think in episode 3, that she's part of the clandestines. They were looking for the bangles. So she found it. But I guess when that scene ended, they were being chased by the British occupiers. So they had to separate. So Aisha found herself in a village where she met Hassan, who turned out to be Kamala's grandfather. And it was basically like a love story. And from the reactors I've seen, the Muslim or Pakistani or even Indian reactors, it's like, yep, this is like a Bollywood movie or a Pakistani movie. And it just shows the love story between the two of them. And then of course partition happened, and what happened with the family. It's kind of like what happened in Encanto as well. Like, when there's basically almost like a civil war happening in your home and you're forced out. So while trying to ride the train, Najma was tracking down Aisha and was basically doing what she was doing with Kamala, just forcing her to open the portal. Aisha tells her it's not going to work, but Najma doesn't listen, so she stabs Aisha. And while Aisha was dying, I guess she conjured up this spell or whatever magic that she had, which brought Kamala back from the future to the time of the partition, to the past. So Kamala was able to interact with her great grandma, Aisha. And then before she dies, she told Kamala, "You need to bring Sana back to her dad," and blah blah blah. So Kamala is kind of like the mentor scene in Harry Potter. So you're like, oh, it was me who did the Trail of Stars. So she does that, and then she goes back to the present, where Najma's still trying to get her, and then she tries to tell them that it's not going to work. Just basically what Aisha said. And of course, I forgot to say, around this time, there's only Najma and then the other clandestine, because the other guys were killed off by either Walid or the Red Daggers
or Kamala.
or Kamala.
Kamala.
But yeah, so when they opened the portal, so the other Jinn was vaporized. It's kind of like a Indiana Jones vaporized. And then Najma realizes, oh, I guess it might not work, and I need to close the portal. So I think she conjured up a spell, basically transferring her powers to Kamran. And then she dies.
Closing the portal.
And she closed the portal, but she dies as well. And then we go back to Jersey City, where Kamran was trying to hide from the Department of Damage Control, and he went and saw Bruno/Brian.
Yeah, so it was an honest mistake.
It was an honest mistake. So he really thought it was Brian, and he's like, and I like the dynamic there that he's trying to bond. Like, oh yeah, you like Tesla cars too? You're Elon fan? Like, no. So, but
Nicholas Texas, bro.
Yeah, and then and then basically he was trying to hide Cameron in his room above the Circle Q, and I see that in the trailer it blows up because damage control drone managed to track down Cameron, and Cameron destroys it. And he just realized he has a power right now, so he's kind of out of control. And then the drone, before destroying itself, kind of sent a missile to Circle Q. It blew up, right? So jumping to episode 6, which is basically jam-packed. So if it weren't for episode 5, I love this episode too. I'll tell you my complaints in the end when we talk about this. But basically, Kamala goes back to Jersey City. She and her mom, as an effect of the previous episode, started bonding, and the mom is more open to all this, and she also realizes that Kamala is light girl or
Mhm.
night light.
Night light.
So, and then the grandma was explaining everything, but basically now the mom said, "Oh yeah, you have to tell your family." But of course, the family already knew because hey, immigrant families, right?
But also like the dad was speaking on speakerphone.
His speakerphone and like, "Oh my God, we had no idea." Da, 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 da.
Oh, so such a funny scene.
And then after that, Nakia was calling not Kamala, but her brother
Because she wasn't answering, I
because
think.
because she wasn't answering.
Because she was
Or
gonna
I think
tell, like she was getting the energy to tell the family. So
yeah.
I think she was
Plus
ignoring her call.
yeah. Plus also I think there's maybe some unresolved issues before, but will be resolved in this episode too. That you didn't tell me, blah blah blah. But yeah, but basically Nakia telling Kamala, hey, the Circle Q blew up, so we need to find Bruno, or have you heard from Bruno? So here you know, we now see that the one of the damage control agents is by more like, you know what, I don't care about the rules anymore. Let's just capture this enhanced human. So she was trying to track down Cameron and then also with Kamala as well. So it was basically Bruno brought Cameron to the mosque. The mosque people helped them, and
Mhm.
Nakia helped them as well. And then, of course, Kamala finds them, also helped them escape, and they managed to get to the school, and that's where they have this Home Alone style planning. And it
I
shows
love
that
that.
the brother was there to help out, Nakia is there to help out, even
So
Zoe was there
chaperone.
to help out. They were like, "Why are you here, Zoe?" Like, well, this is where
Zoe
you
was
do
one of
makeup.
I was a little bit surprised that they brought in Zoe. In the comic, she's very, very important. But
Yeah,
like, bro, come on. You were just using the theater late at night to do your
your your,
TikToks.
your TikTok.
Come on.
But yeah, but it was a fun
Well, it kind of
Home
makes
Alone
sense. There's
style.
nobody there.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
the
it
point.
100% sense. But like, if she's using it for TikTok, what? None of the 3,000 other people are using the damn school at night to do their
Well,
TikToks.
that's her thing. That's her thing.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it also some scenes there, like with Nakia and Kamala getting into grips. Like, I was afraid that uh, you might not like me because now I'm an enhanced human or something like that. And Nakia's like, no, I always like you, blah blah blah. And then even with Zoe, because I guess because when she was being interrogated by the damage control folks, like they were trying to trick her to give up Kamala. And
Mhm.
during that scene, we didn't know that Zoe knew it was Kamala, but I guess she did, or for some reason,
Dude, Kamala.
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 Kamala, yeah, Kamala,
Kamala.
yeah,
Kamala.
Kamala,
No,
Kamala,
Kam-
Kamala.
Kamala.
Kamala. There we go. Kamala.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. So yeah, so basically, it's just you know everybody just having their own roles, and Zoe just said, if she wants to tell the world who she is, that's up to her. I'm not gonna expose her in my TikTok. And then of course, when all those scenes happened, control barged in, and they're trying to capture them. And then now Zoe is asking her TikTok followers to help them, and then basically this is like basically the CGI scene of every Marvel series. But this
Mhm.
one, for some reason, it's not. I don't think it was over CGI because it's just
Yeah, but
basically
I thought it was under CGI.
it's under
no,
CGI.
no, yeah, Kamran, for some reason Kamran's light show wasn't up to par. I mean,
Yeah,
Kamala's already isn't as great, but it's
Mhm.
like you like it. It's like you let it slide because it's her
yeah,
and it's it's cool. But with Kamran,
yeah,
the color was like really off, and
yeah. I think it's just a contrast
I mean,
because
it didn't
hers
take
is like
out from the episode for me, but it's still
yeah,
I can't deny that it looked
yeah.
like
The green was it
green
like
yellow, yellow green or
green
something,
yellow, like
orange. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just to contrast with her because it's all hers is like bluish purple,
Purple.
something like that. But yeah, so they got the non-powered humans got captured. Cameron was freaking out, so he's losing control, and then Kamala was more like she did the embiggen, and that's when she
And
became
she
this
look like that.
hero. And then the fangirl thing, and then of course when Cameron tried to stop the big deal damage control agent, he accidentally launched a car towards the crowd, and of course Kamala was able to
Catch it.
save them. So now the people and the cops, the local cops, were protecting Kamala and Cameron. So basically Cameron was able to escape. So Kamala called the Red Daggers and hey, just do me a favor, help this guy. I know he's there's some history with the newer with the clandestines, but he's different. He's my friend. Let's help him out. And then of course there's the scene of the TikToks. That was funny.
That was funny.
And of course the kid that she said like, yeah, I'm where was the skills when she dropped me on my and broke my foot or something.
I was beta testing. I was
Beta
beta
testing.
test.
So it was a fun one. And then of course as the resolution of this episode, Bruno managed to get Cameron's car. Okay. And then
I mean, technically, nobody has it.
Yeah, because the mom's gone, and
there's no
yeah, so
family.
yeah, exactly. So, but Bruno was talking to Kamala, Kamala about
There we go.
we were looking at your genome, and because your brother asked me if he has powers too, and it's like, well, you're a little bit different. It seems like there's like a mutation in your
We get
gene
the
code, and then
With the
then the X-Men
thing.
sound again. Like I was like, what?
I
So
was shouting there.
so this one freaked out a lot of people because in the comic books, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman,
Yeah.
but now MCU is like, no, we're going to get mutants now, so we're good.
It's time.
And
It's
then
time.
and then of course Nakia is like, get in losers, we're getting shawarma. I was like, oh, Mean Girls.
I want some.
Yeah. And then of course there's the mid-credit scene where Miss Marvel, Kamala, was for some reason her bangles just activated, and then she was teleported, switched with Captain Marvel.
Brie Larson.
And
She's so pretty.
She looked good in that scene.
Yeah, she's really working out.
Really awesome costume, awesome upgrade. I like the hair.
Yeah, I like this hair better than her Endgame hair. Like Endgame hair is like, what happened there?
That's just
that was it's a comic,
comic book. Yeah, I get it.
Cameo.
But yeah, but that's basically it with Miss Marvel, and
All right, Chubax. Now that we've gone through the plot, before we go to the ratings of Miss Marvel, things that you liked and did not like.
I'll break it down a little bit in the second half. So I love the fourth episode. Even though the as it is, it's good, but it still was a little notched down because we didn't have Bruno, Nakia, the family. So that,
understandable. We're going to Pakistan.
But
not gonna bring your friends everywhere.
It's a notch down, but it's understandable. She had to learn about something, and I like that they went to Karachi and they shot there. Still good, lots of as Arnie said, good chase scene. Maybe the CGI was spotty a little bit at times, but it's fine. Nice scenes with the grandma, nice scenes with the mom. This series really gets character, and the interaction's so good. And then nice with what's the name of the Red Dagger guy?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, I even like the scene where they hung out at night with the food and by the beach and just playing guitar. And
it brings me back when we were outings, and I was like, oh yeah.
And I even like the ending where like Najma was like, I know this was in episode 5 but at the ending. So she got stabbed and then she goes to So in episode 5 was my most problematic for me. Like I still liked it. It's still good,
I
but
feel like
Yeah.
for it's just like I love the part where Kamala was interacting with the past. Like what
Yeah.
her purpose there when she saw Aisha and she was the one that she could. I'm sorry, I can't make stars, Nanny, but circles will do. So that was amazing. But like
Hmm.
the love story at the start, like I loved Aisha, but it
Hmm.
didn't tell
oh
us.
my god,
She's so pretty, right? And then I saw an
she's the
Instagram
most
post
gorgeous thing I've ever
where
seen in an MCU property right
I
now. I
know
don't know. Yeah.
I saw her on an Instagram where she had her hair down, but she's even prettier without the costume makeup here. But her love story didn't really show us anything new.
Hmm.
That's exactly how we would have thought it had gone before they showed us, and they didn't show any like there wasn't.
Yeah.
I would have liked it like if she was running and then she was hurt and then the dad helped, or she was in there's a little action sequence, where she's like
Hmm.
badass and then that's when she met the dad. No, she's just like she woke up somewhere and then she met the dad, they had the baby,
Super
Hmm.
and
charming.
then they
Yeah,
ran from Najma. So that
it
was
was
like my
30
issue.
minutes,
Yeah.
so
I
it was
know.
really hard
Yeah.
to flesh out.
So that
I
was
think.
so for
Yeah.
me that was the issue. Like the first half of that was already you're not telling me something new. Add to the fact that I don't have Nakia, Bruno, Kamala even,
Hmm.
and the family of Kamala. So that took it instead of taking it a notch down, it went a couple of notches down more. So that was my issue. What do you think about
Yeah.
you like the fifth episode?
Well, well, for me, I like the fifth episode, but I do get your point about how the meet cute was just like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
just happened to be there. I think it suffered with the shorter runtime, or
Mm.
maybe I wouldn't go as far that it should have been like a 2 episode thing, but it could have been like another 15-20 minutes longer, that episode, just to flesh out
The,
the
the entire
characters.
series could have used a few, like this is one of the few times
Yeah.
where two or three more episodes to let the season breathe. Like if
Yeah.
you read the way that we review this series is apt because the first half it's a high school musical thing,
Hmm.
right? It's just coming of age, and then the second half well at the end of season of episode 3 and then towards until episode 5, it's fucking uh, a history lesson,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mhm.
it's a big switch. There's so many that's too big of a flip of
Yeah.
themes, and two different themes that I think by themselves was good, really
Yeah.
good. But they could have they it wasn't a smooth transition on both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I
and just
love
showing the great cast of the first three, it's
Yeah.
really noticeable when they're not there.
when they're not there.
So
Yeah. This
But
could have been like an 8 episode series,
yeah,
and it would have been just fine. Or
I would have
maybe,
like I would have done with the budget that they have if they take away all the fucking CGI already and then make it a 10 or 12 episode because that's the thing. The one thing in this series that really took me away is every time that they showed anything with powers. Well, they're obviously cheating. Like
mm,
when I think that was episode 6, start of episode 6 when Kamala was running through the streets of or flying through the streets of Jersey on her light platforms, and they were just showing the feet
mhm,
because it's obviously CGI and you don't want to make it difficult for the artists. And episode 5, that's the problem. I loved how they created this very different, very authentic feeling Pakistan, but it's obviously a set. Like
mhm,
it's not the streets of Pakistan for sure. It's not it is very if you really watch it, they might be using the same 30 extras in every single scene that they have because that's the thing with South Asian countries. It's populous. There's a lot of people.
yeah,
So that took me away. That was the thing that made it difficult for episode 5 for me because I already understood. One episode, you want to give the entire backstory of
mm,
Aisha. I liked her. She's
mhm.
charming. I like the husband, very
Hassan, yeah.
charming and loving. I was informed. I was educated about what had happened during the partition, and and how difficult it was for people, and how India and Pakistan was at war with each other, moving this certain set of people in the different. It's like I appreciated and learned a
Mhm,
lot of it. but every time they fucking do a little bit of magic and a little bit of it's not, it's super rushed. It took you away. And there's in episode 4, 5, and some of episode 6, there's always like, I really, really love this episode, but there's like two decisions that are like, why? Like, you have the bangle, you are a clandestine for, like, I'm talking about Aisha here. Um, and it's obviously that you've had long life and etc. etc. And then you just get stabbed. That's it, and you die. Like,
Hey, Star Wars, Qui-Gon Jinn just got
yeah,
stabbed.
No,
He
for
died.
her. No, I think the
Yeah.
story there was like she didn't think Namja would have done it.
yeah,
So
I
Yeah,
she
understand,
let
but
her
like,
and
guard
I
down.
think she already gave the bangle to Sana. Uh, so she doesn't have the bangle on her
maybe
person.
not activating her powers. Maybe.
Yeah,
Or
Okay,
or
all
maybe we
right.
don't even know if she can.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
We don't even know if she
Because we
can.
never really saw Aisha use her powers prior to the bangle or something like that.
No, I don't think she can because like Namja said, the reason why Kamala can do it is because she's part human.
Yeah,
Since
yeah, yeah,
Aisha
yeah.
is only Noor, I don't think she
Yeah.
could have accessed it. That's why I think they
Yeah.
may
No
have
one knew
needed
how to
to,
open it at that
or they
point.
may
But
have
Yeah.
yeah,
needed
but
to or something.
the idea there too is just there's so many things that were not clear to us.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what the fuck is the bangle? Like the clandestines, they keep on telling us about the clandestines XYZ, but like we don't know their power set. We don't know. They didn't
Yeah.
ever explain
Yeah, because even
their
in episode 4 with the red daggers, like they tried to do like a quick, okay, here's the dimension that they're coming from, and the danger of them opening the veil is that dimension will bleed. Goes, okay,
exactly, and that's the
fine.
only thing that was clearly explained. That
Yeah,
the reason why it's dangerous because
yeah,
it may, like,
it
their
may.
dimension may destroy ours.
Yeah, but it
May.
never explained to us like, well, okay, why were they exiled here?
Yeah, how did
Why
they
are they?
get here? What
You
did
know,
they and even the we just got off a really cool episode where you get an amazing wedding scene,
yeah,
amazing dance scene, a fight scene with weird weapons.
yeah,
Are those power set? Are those just like, there's
yeah,
just so many things that were hanging in all of the episodes 4,
yeah,
5, 6, that kind of like took it down a small notch. Because again, episode 4, really enjoyed.
yeah,
Episode, I mean, and the thing that knocked down episode 4 were the cousins. Like there were, it's actually accurate that you have cousins in
This-
other states who will take you around. But okay, Arnie, your cousin from the Philippines come and visit you in California.
Mhm.
You just leave their cousin
No,
by themselves
uh,
and be cool about it? Dude, my
yeah,
cousins will kill
you
me.
especially if they're minors, right? So if
I
like Kamala was what 15, 16 in this story, like, oh yeah, we'll
I know
just
you're
leave you
old
in a
enough,
strange
but
city. You go look for the train station. We'll just do our thing. Like, really? You're
no, no,
leaving an
no.
American born?
And then on episode 5 is a little bit about um a little bit about Aisha. And I understand that uh episode 5 was kind of like the precursor for the stinger. Like the bangles swapped, right?
Mhm.
So it kind of like this is my head canon, like genie, somebody asking for a wish and it makes it happen. So
Mhm.
Aisha was wishing for Sana to be saved.
Yeah,
And kind of like during that moment, they pulled Kamala, and she was the one that could guide Sana to her dad. That's what my thinking. And same thing with the stinger, where um either maybe because Kamala was wishing for something, or maybe Captain Marvel was wishing for something, and maybe that's the reason why they swapped places. Is
Mhm.
maybe either Kamala is what is needed in wherever Captain
Yeah,
Marvel came from, or
yeah,
Captain Marvel is needed in Earth at that
yeah,
moment because something is going to happen. So that's what I'm thinking, and I understand that there is a reasoning why they're doing this, but again, it's not clear,
yeah,
and it leaves a lot. It's not, instead of leaving you hanging to want for more, it's
Mhm.
leaving me hanging confused. But
Mhm.
For
Mhm.
me,
still a like over and over an
it's
episode.
Well,
doing the wanting more because
yeah,
it's the side. The main story is just Kamala and her powers and her
yeah,
family. So
Yeah.
those things on the side didn't really bother me. And
Exactly.
like the effects also didn't take me out of
Yeah.
it. I mean, I accept
I've
it's
learned to
crappy,
accept that already. I've
but
learned to
for
accept
me,
that. Yeah.
if the story's good, the acting's good, the effects, it's
Yeah.
like that can come to budget, that can come to a little, trying to
Yeah.
cheat it. But there's also some cool stuff like, as you said, they were cheating with the footsteps from below, but it was a good shot. Like
It was a
Yeah.
good,
seeing
it was a
her
better
jumping on
shot. It was
the
a better
like,
shot because compared to the fucking fight scene. So this is where, I might differ for you guys. Every time fucking every shield, everything that happens in
Mhm.
the with their light powers, I think it's butt ugly. The
oh,
the embiggen stuff,
it doesn't bother me. I
yeah,
mean,
the
Yeah.
embiggen
it's
stuff
a,
looks good.
Yeah. The
The
Embiggen was good.
the shards on the
yeah, it
ground, and then because there's no mark. Like usually what happens, like, all right, maybe it's light, but the thing is, like, they used it as a shield. So if my light power comes up from the ground, at least move some stuff around or leave some indentation or something.
it was only in
Mhm.
the
It is
air
well, there no
when she was
camera and
going like
stuff.
that. Oh,
Yeah, camera and stuff when he was like going out of
crazy.
crazy,
Mhm.
like it's going everywhere. Like move the cars around, move the trash can around, leave some things there that made you see that something happened. But even in the white scenes, like, oh, that was for me. And then that's we've been hearing a lot about how Marvel is like, or Disney is such a horrible VFX clients because of the um unreasonable timelines, etc., etc. And so, yeah, possibly if you give them more time or more budget, it'll
Yeah.
be a lot better. But I will push back on that because we're watching the trailer right now, and
Mhm.
everything that they've done non-power related,
Yeah.
right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. All the
And
stop
the VFX
motion.
of the like the thought bubbles, they're
Love
Yeah,
looking
it.
but
good.
I love
The
it.
yeah, but
emojis look
that's
good.
easy. That's like
That
Yeah.
is easy, but the thing is, if
Photoshop stuff that anybody
if
can
you
do. It's
can
just
think
good
about,
direction.
yeah, if you can think about making it natural, seamless, unique, in those things, I was just expecting a little bit more. Like that's why it's like, maybe do the Japanese thing where they don't show the powers, they just show the
Mm.
effects of the powers,
Mhm.
because the uncanny valley portion of it is, if you show me the powers and I need to imagine it, I can see that it is
Yeah.
real or not real.
Yeah.
Either make it extremely janky and comedic or extremely real, but somewhere in the middle it becomes subjective. But
Yeah.
again, that's like,
Well,
I understand that the heart of the movie is not actually the superpowers, which I
yeah.
love. That's why I love this series. That's why it's still going to be either 1 to 3 in my end
Yeah.
ranking, despite how much I fucking hate the effects. Is
Yeah.
because this it's not about the power. Even when she was doing the fight scenes,
Yeah.
even within the fight scenes, she's still trying to save Kamran. She's still
Yeah. I
trying
mean,
to
it's
do the right thing.
just like with Moon Knight. It's not about Moon Knight. It's about Steven and
Exactly.
Mark.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean the effects. I get it. Pandemic, Disney's timeline, and also the secrecy part. Like even with Mandalorian season 2, with the first CGI loop. Like yeah, because they had to keep it secret, right? So I mean, it's a victim of their own secrecy, right? But yeah, for me, the story is good, acting's good, shots were good. A CGI, I mean, they could always refix it in post. I don't really care about it. But yeah, but I do get it. If it's they have to commit to a certain quality, or at least like what you said, like
Mm,
if the light magic pushed the trash can should have been pushed,
mm.
or but at least the effects are better than the you know net
CW, yeah.
CW
Yeah,
network
yeah,
network
I'll
TV.
give them that. I'll give
Yeah,
them
so
that.
I'll give them that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So anyway, so for me, back to season 6, episode 6, I loved. It's like just gangs back together. Her
yeah,
suit is fire.
I,
yes,
Her suit
and see,
is freaking
here's what I'm
fire.
gonna point out there too. Not only does it look good, but beyond looking good, it is the meaning behind the suit.
Everything,
Coming
Mhm.
back
right?
from
The
episode 1,
From
and the
Bruno.
mom. No,
and
the
there's
mom,
also small, as you said, John. There's small stuff like she got a scarf, the
the
Yeah,
scarf,
color, and then the symbol, and
the
then the
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 mom.
sim,
symbol.
the her Kamala
Necklace.
necklace that
Yeah,
became
That broke.
the
the
S.
symbol.
Apparently, that is a character for her name,
Yeah.
right? So that's kind of like,
So yeah. So again, I loved. See episode 6. I love
Yeah.
mom the costume, dad the name. So it's like, oh,
Yep.
oh,
that
Kamal.
scene.
that's why this is a great
A
series.
I
little
know.
marvel. Like,
So
oh. Yep.
I agree that the Zoe thing was surprised. I mean, they could have used a little foreshadowing, that she
Yeah,
knew a
yeah.
little bit.
Mhm.
But it's great that, I mean, she was never shown as a villain or even a bully.
Mhm.
She's just more like the maybe insensitive a little bit or
She's
narcissist
a
a little
kid. She's a
bit.
teenage
Yeah,
kid.
she was
She's
more of that.
an influencer.
But yeah,
Mhm.
all the scenes with Nakia and I can't wait to see it in
Nakia.
the movie because they're gonna have more budget. But
Yeah, yes.
I
Yeah.
read in the reaction like the way she's traveling is like second coolest to Peter Parker swinging. It's that cool. My
Mhm.
question
Mhm.
is cardio wise, like I know it looks cool, but it's gonna fucking be so tiring. Like,
I think she's
jumping
going to, she's going to embiggen certain portions of her body. So it's
to
the
so
the
it's the
light that
energy,
is
it's the
pushing her.
power that's okay.
It's
If
the
that
power that is
happened,
like
yeah,
running her
Yeah.
is there.
or
But
she,
before we go too far from it, see, this is my struggle with this series because they have the highest of highs. Like what you said, Little Miss on Zoe. There's because they had to leave one episode without the New Jersey kids, so maybe that's where you lack of screen time.
editing.
Mhm.
But the costume is a mirror of the first episode where the mom built the Hulk
Mhm.
costume when
Little
Henry
Hulk.
died, right?
Yep.
So, and in the end, she made the worst possible costume for Kamala. Didn't know who Kamala is at
Was
all, didn't know how
agreed.
to support her, didn't know how to
Mm.
love her. And then at the end of the season, perfect. Not only
Mhm.
does she support her the right way, where she is still concerned, but she's trusting her already because they went through episode
What
4 and
happened?
5,
Mhm. It was earned.
because they
Yeah.
because she was able to express what she was trying to do to her with her mom. And then not so the meaning behind the costume is amazing. The person that made the costume was amazing. The
Mhm.
costume itself looked great
Yeah.
aesthetically. Every single
Functions
portion
great.
of their costume
Yeah.
made sense. Like the colors, it was like red and blue
Yeah.
because that was like the red dagger stuff.
Yeah.
The scarf, the S.
Yeah.
But low
And
key
the
too,
sneakers too, man. It's just
the
so
box
nice.
that the costume was that
The
came in,
the milk
the
toffee.
toffee, right?
Yeah.
It is highly emblematic because that's where, yeah, culturally, that's where they put the stuff with the
Balikbayan box.
tattoo, right? But
Yeah.
also, it was
The
the
mom,
same,
the
or it was
grandma
one of the boxes where the grandma gave
was
the jewels
keeping.
to, right?
Oh yeah. And also the
So
toffee is like the grandma keeping
Yeah.
it around because it
Plus,
reminded her of the daughter.
yeah. Plus for
100%.
Iman herself, because she dressed up as Miss Marvel for Halloween a few
Yeah,
years
I saw
ago,
that.
and then that
This-
scene when she was
yeah.
looking at herself in the mirror, like, oh man, that's the fanboy's dream, man. That's
Yeah.
I felt that.
It's
Felt that.
again, so the episode 6 for me, take away a little bit of the CGI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to episode 6. I like all the decisions here. Like
Yeah.
what they did in the school was fun. The brother coming in. I mean, the
Like
mom
the
trusts
chaperone.
you, but still need a chaperone.
Still need a chaperone,
And
Beta.
the setup there, and even damage control where they wouldn't do this to a school in front of the community, but maybe a rogue
Yeah.
agent would. And then
Yeah.
the other guy's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Fuck, what are you
And
fucking doing?"
the non-lethal rounds.
Non-lethal
Right?
rounds,
Round.
like,
That's
Okay.
a Star Trek, right? The pulse.
is
It
it
The
looks
sound.
like
similar to
everything
the
is Star
one?
Trek.
Is it similar to the one they used on the Hulk in Edward Norton's movie?
Yeah.
It
They were
looks
yeah,
using
like
it.
it.
They were doing
Yeah.
the circle thing.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what I also love was I also love how they handled Kamran because I thought it was gonna be
Mhm.
straight Black
Evil.
Panther Killmonger stuff.
Villain.
But
Yeah.
no, he had the confused time.
Confused and
And
yeah.
technically, they were fucking shooting at him. Like, Like, so he
Yeah.
went a little angry.
He
But
did again. He didn't have the training montage that Kamala had
no, but
with
I mean,
Bruno.
Yeah.
him
And
acting out against the soldiers, they were trying to fucking kill him.
of course, yeah.
But
Yeah.
also the scene,
Yeah.
like, I like the small touches where he pushed the car, and then when he saw it flow, it's like, fuck, like he didn't mean to
Yeah.
maybe hurt
Yeah.
others. But yeah, the begin was especially nice.
Yeah.
I like the small touches of Iman, and so I like how they did that. The scene on the roof with the father was amazing.
Oh, that was
Mm.
the best.
I was
I
seeing
love
some
that.
reactions where the other guy was like, "This is the first time I'm tearing up on an MCU film, Disney
Mhm.
Plus," and the discussion there, the lines, the dialogue
Yeah.
was
It's just
amazing.
nice to have a functional family. And
Yes.
and it happened to be an
Oh
immigrant
yeah, and I
family
saw a
too.
comment also like, "It's nice to have a functional and alive family
Alive,
for
like
a show."
Aunt May didn't die.
I know
It's not a hex.
it's not tragic
It's not
because if you
tragic.
It's
think
not
about
made.
it,
It's not Magic Kids.
because if
Yeah.
you think about it, I mean, the race by itself, they're already going through too much. If you add, I
Yeah.
guess, if you add family and death, that is like more fucked up.
Yeah. If you make Miss Marvel an orphan, it's like, oh, okay, she's gonna be a villain.
It's like too much. Yeah.
It's too much.
But then
But
yeah,
yeah,
I like how Kamran ended up with Kareem in the Red Daggers,
yeah.
and then how we got the first stinger with the mutant. Like fuck, I was
Mutant
shouting like
Gene.
holy shit.
Well,
Yeah.
so
And then we
there's
get
this
Captain Marvel.
argument. There's this argument that okay, is she the first mutant? Like, no, she's not the first
The
mutant
First
ever.
announced.
first confirmed,
First
She's
or
the
the
first
confirmed.
first one that
confirmed.
showed to
We
us.
could still get Apocalypse. We could still get the X-Men. They're
Yeah.
just not known yet,
Yeah. It's the
right?
first. Again, first announced with the word mutant in the MCU, but a lot of
Because
again I
Wanda could still be a mutant, right?
could
Because
be again that's a prevailing theory. Also, Monica
yeah,
Rambeau is becoming like one of the candidates, but the I listen to a lot of other podcasts that
yeah,
reviews all the shows that we do too, but the history behind this is or the reason why, because the big argument in the internet right now is like we're deviating now so far away from Miss Marvel and the comics, but
yeah,
the creators themselves, they really really wanted Kamala to be a mutant.
yeah.
However, when they made Miss Marvel in mid 2010s, I think
The
it was like
comics, yeah,
2014, 2015, um, uh, Disney or Marvel at that time
They were pushing
was not,
Inhumans.
yeah,
they anything say do make a character, just make sure do not make them a mutant, because at that time Fox
Yeah.
you
still
can't use it.
owned
Yeah,
mutant. So if they wrote a character that is mutant, it's Fox's fair game to use it. So they were kind of forced to make her an inhuman. But again,
yeah,
it doesn't really it's not the crux of your the source of your power doesn't really matter at that point, and
yeah.
here as well. But the idea here is like it's one of those things that the creators
Like
themselves
real world issues.
they
Yeah,
were saying like, oh, finally we really intended her to be a mutant, because you grow up with
yeah,
when you're working with comics at the very beginning, you'd start with mutants first before all of these Inhumans,
yeah,
Eternals,
yeah,
Celestials, Enhanced. That was the kind of what they intended to be.
yeah,
So this was their time to retcon their own
yeah.
comic. So it's with their blessing saying that, oh, Kevin Feige told me to like put the stinger there.
Fuck
So
yeah.
like, all
Okay.
right, so okay.
Yeah. Plus,
We
in
don't
this
know how
time,
they're gonna run it, but
yeah,
that's the thing that DW something that the writers like.
yeah,
So like I just wrote to her to become a mutant again. Kevin Feige said like, hey, why'd you how about put the X-Men theme there? And
yeah.
that was it. That's
Well,
the more
plus
information.
in this time of multiverse, like okay, so going back to Spider-Man, right? They were able to explain, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are Spider-Man, but it's just a different universe. And same thing with Doctor Strange. We got an Inhuman with Black Bolt, right? Right. So we could still get Quake either as an Inhuman or maybe a mutant. It's
Which
just
she
different.
will be in a it was
Yep.
just recently announced that she's
I
coming
was
back.
excited about that because I like her too.
Chloe Bennett
uh,
is there
She's
really?
gonna
but
be
yeah,
in where?
Somewhere, but
Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, but
As
we don't
as
know if
as
it's
quick.
Inhuman. Yeah,
As quick,
as
but
quick.
what the only thing that they confirmed is totally different origin story.
Yeah, it's not
Different.
Agents of Shield.
So like
Not-
a multiverse version. This 616
We
version.
don't know yet. Yeah, maybe six. Maybe
It's a six
No,
one
if
six.
it's a
So
total
maybe
different origin, then it's not the
Yeah.
Agent of Shield
Yeah.
series.
so Agents
well,
of
Chloe
that's
Shield.
the thing
Agents of
with-
Shield could be a different multiverse. So for Chloe as Quake
It's
showing
gonna
up
be 616.
different origin.
So
So
this is the
616 Quake.
The statement from Marvel is Chloe Bennett will reprise her role as Quake from Agents of Shield with a totally different origin story.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a
That's
different
it.
character.
So
maybe,
yeah.
or maybe because we don't know whether the
If it was
Agents of
616.
Shield was 616,
Yeah,
or it might be a
because
different multiverse. So
because it could be a Black Bolt's universe. Well,
I think they're
Yeah,
gonna stay away from
E3.
Inhumans because it's gonna be confusing what's Inhuman and what's a mutant.
yeah,
yeah.
So they're going
Unless
with-
they make a series that would either merge or
No,
basically
they
just
they did the Inhuman series already and they basically threw it in the trash. So they're gonna go with mutants.
Well, it didn't help that
Uh,
it wasn't good too.
Well,
Like
it
Agents
wasn't-
of Shield, Agents of Shield was
they
for
had great
network
seasons.
it's passable.
They had great
right?
no, they had great
Yeah.
seasons actually.
Yeah, and I still have to watch that. I think now it's in Disney Plus. I could catch up on that now.
But yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. My question is, how are they gonna bring the history of the mutants?
yeah.
'Cause, like,
Again,
I don't
at this
think
point,
I don't think I'm gonna like it if they're from a different universe.
so
No.
So the
I
question,
think-
but the problem is if you bring it into 616, is it from scratch or there's not gonna be history there then,
I
So-
think
or were there just
one
like
idea.
under what's the
One idea I have is that because we're going to have the Skrulls and Secret Invasion, right? So maybe
apparently.
that's one aspect that the Skrulls cannot duplicate is the mutation. So maybe we'll find out that the X-Men was already here and they're the only ones that the Skrulls can impersonate or something like that.
or they've been
the-
hiding since forever.
they've been
or,
hiding,
Like,
or-
it's
No,
it's
so
like-
the well, again, we can have a bajillion theories on how we're gonna plug in mutants, but so far the experts, which is Emergency Awesome, New
New
Rockstars,
Rockstars.
Heavy Spoilers, Screen Rant,
Yeah.
and CBR, Comic Book Review, what they have in common is there might be certain ingredients for your mutation to come out. So you need like
Mm.
predisposition,
Yeah.
a
A
trigger
trigger.
event,
Yeah.
and an energy source. So let's
Yeah.
say that's why they were saying the perfect examples will be the Marvels. That's where I think, or most people
Tesseract,
think,
yeah.
that the mutation will be explained in the 616 universe because all of them were somewhat of like both Monica Rambeau and Carol Danvers. They were just regular people exposed to a light force,
Yeah, but-
like
Space
And-
Jam.
yeah,
and
but
then
that's
was-
just I know that's just how it comes out. But my question still is,
Yeah.
it comes history. You
So,
can't have
history-
Wolverine like unless he did it
no,
before.
so
But
that's
is he a
that's the thing
secret?
too. So
Like-
if it works, because that was exactly their explanations. Like, how are you going to bring in Cyclops, Wolverine, Storm, etc., etc. This, but it works because, for example, maybe Wolverine already was predisposed for regenerative healing,
Hmm.
and then something happened, World War II, traumatic event, World War
No,
One,
no, no.
traumatic event.
I'm fine.
triggered.
I'm fine with the
Mhm.
triggering. The question is, the present mutants. That's easy. My question is the long ones like Wolverine. How were they not
Professor X,
exposed?
Magneto.
How were
Oh,
they not
well,
shown in the world?
the same
Or
way
why don't
the
nobody
same
knows?
way the same way the original Ant-Man and then the original Goliath was, they're known but not announced. Like Goliath
But it
was
just
present,
seems
and
like
then
too
Ant-Man
many.
was Ant-Man was doing covert missions for decades until they tried to steal the Pym particle.
Yeah.
I just saw
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the
You know,
Wasp again.
And the
I
thing is, we were
mean-
only aware of superheroes when Tony Stark said, "Yeah, I'm Iron Man." That's it. And then,
No,
but we
that's my
know Ant-Man was there.
That's my question. If it's mutant, then it's a whole race. There has to be a lot of them, and I
Yeah.
don't know
It's-
if you can keep all of them like a secret like Ant-Man.
Or
I-
maybe it could be like what happened in first class, right? So Professor X and Magneto was like, you know what, we're going to be hated for this. Let's collect all these humans and train them or
I think it's
have our
the
own
yeah.
school.
That's my
It
thing.
can
If they did that, they would have popped up somewhere down the line.
Yeah,
It would have been more
they'll
obvious.
probably, yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing too. They can make it obvious in the subsequent movies, but
yeah,
that's I think that's always cheating. Like you're where
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying. So it's like
yeah. But
or
I think
maybe like maybe the 10 rings were trying to eliminate them because like
there you go. So
so something like that.
so that's the thing too. Like the the 10 what's his name? Don Yen, no? Yeah, Donnie
Donnie
Yen,
Yen,
right?
yeah.
Right?
no
Donnie
Tony
Chen.
Leong, Tony Leong,
Tony
Donnie,
Tony,
Hey,
the
you're
Mandarin.
talking about
Yeah,
Chirrut, man.
yeah. Tony Leung.
Yeah,
Tony Leung lived for thousands of years.
yeah,
And then he was kind of known but not known. So
yeah.
maybe
He's the
that's going to be the
Mandarin, but not
case.
really the Mandarin. Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that maybe that's the case with some mutants, but the only thing that I wouldn't want is like I don't want them to make Fantastic Four 2-3 years down the line and say like, and then they're gonna visit Savior's gift for Savior's School for Gifted Humans that's been there for 20 years.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
don't
so
want to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
yeah. So
I
maybe
think
either-
there's
either
like
as-
the key mutants have been there all along, and they
yeah,
could have
Yeah.
hidden
Magneto
like
maybe
Mandarin,
Professor
Like
X,
because I heard that
Wolverine.
but no
Namor is going to be a
school, no
mutant.
teams
No
yet.
school yet. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that's my hope.
Yeah, because I heard that Namor is going to be a mutant. So him could be in Atlantis. That's fine. He could be a mutant in Atlantis. But like Professor X and Magneto, maybe they have it started in 616. Kind of like with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
Somehow,
There's no
616
school yet.
Spider-Man.
They've been there, but there's no school
Yeah,
yet. And then
yeah,
maybe the events of Fantastic Four, the events of Secret Wars is the
yeah,
one that will, because like that's what they were. The theory is, um, there's going to be a larger trigger event
mhm.
because much like Monica
The blip.
Rambo walking through the
It's like
hex, much like
it's like the
um,
Inhumans. Technically, what they did
just
in
like the
in the
Inhumans.
comics.
The Terrigen.
So the much like the snap is kind of
Yeah,
like one of the ways that that was the first trigger event that was for maybe low level
yeah,
mutations, but there might
yeah.
be a bigger event that will
Activate them.
blow
Yeah,
up more people maybe. But I kind of like this idea that it's already innate.
yeah,
Some people already manifested it because like even in Civil War, right? They've already mentioned they were already hunting Doctor Strange. They're already
yeah,
hunting these people that are amazing athletes or super smart. So maybe those are manifestations of
yeah.
some predestination to mutation already.
Yeah. Plus, there's always still more Wakanda. Maybe
Mhm.
most of the mutants are in Wakanda or something like that. So maybe they're just being identified. I mean, if somebody like Bruno with not a lot of resources was able to, oh, there's a mutation.
I think
So,
I think they've dropped enough Easter eggs like Madripoor. It has always been
Madripoor.
there. And then
Yeah.
Madripoor already had these fucking
Maybe,
amazing fight
maybe
clubs
Logan and
with
Deadpool already in Madripoor or something like
right.
that, right?
Maybe hopefully they just I trust Feige. He'll have like a good touch
Yeah.
on this.
Anyways,
I
so back to Miss Marvel. That scene at the end where it's like this in the trailer, but with the new
Mhm.
suit
yeah.
and with her smile, it's like that was so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love
so
this costume because the mask is from
Bruno.
Bruno. The suit is from your mom.
The
The
capes
scarf
from
is from the scarf is from the Red Dragon.
Red
So
Daggers.
you
And
can
then
really
the shoes are her. And then the necklace is her. Right.
so yeah,
But yeah.
that's it. Let's do ratings.
So what do you guys think about
Oh, go.
no clear villain?
That's fine,
So they
man.
didn't kill a villain.
Beaver.
It worked.
See, that's why I actually like it.
I liked it because like that was the trope. Like Kamran was gonna be the villain, but then
Yeah.
he was messed up. The people are after
Yeah.
him for
Yeah.
nothing, and his mom died, and but
Yeah.
he was able to talk him down. So I liked
Yeah,
it. And
that's good.
he's gonna be an ally going forward.
Yeah, that's good.
Hopefully
And
with
yeah,
better
and
special
hopefully
effects.
and hopefully we'll have a season 2.
I
Because
think
I
there
want
will be.
more of this crew, like Nakia,
Nakia, Bruno.
I
Yeah.
love
and I didn't know
Nakia's
Nakia
so
was
pretty
all
hot
going.
also.
I didn't know she's going to Caltech too. I mean, what?
Wait, she was?
Because she said that or it was implied that she's going to Caltech with
Oh, she
Bruno
was
or
just
something.
doing the road trip
I
with
mean, oh, maybe the road trip. Okay.
because like somebody had to get the car, Cameron's
Well,
car.
they're
Yeah,
still
that's
fighting it. They're still fighting about the car.
Yeah,
yeah,
whoever is gonna keep Cameron's car.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hit the ratings, Jong.
Final thoughts, Arnie, and your ratings.
Final thoughts. It's again one of my favorite. I'm still prefer Moon Knight just because of Oscar Isaac. And it's still a crime he didn't get nominated for an acting award in that show.
Bullshit.
But this show, it's like as a person of color, as a immigrant, it just hits all the strides. Like yep, 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 and then trying to fit in, and then throw in being a superhero. It's just it's a good intro for Miss Marvel, and hopefully it brings up the sales of the comics so that there's more of her content here. And my rating will be, I would say it's like a 9 out of 10, because there's still some missing parts. Like okay, so now the newer, we still need to know more about the newer and about. But it's a great show. I'll watch it again. And
I'll go next. This is
yeah,
again a very solid, very happy
solid. Yeah.
8 for me. Like it
Mhm,
is a great show. Again, there's just decisions that I am
mhm,
totally against. It's obvious that it wasn't smoothly done. There are rumors of the reshoots, pandemic stuff, lots of issues in this production. So I understand why there's some disparate portions of it. The only thing that I am or want to highlight is despite all of my issues with the CGI, some
mhm,
storylines not making sense, this was an amazing showcase of a Disney Plus, an MCU property that the weakest portion of the weakest portion of the series or the movie is the superhero stuff. Like I didn't I am not a fan of high school stuff, coming of
mhm,
age crap, as like I'm too old to be understanding those, but I truly enjoyed the layers of found family, Bruno, Nakia, the things
mhm,
that they deal with in school, both like Bruno being like in love with somebody, in love with his best friend, Nakia, with the mosque stuff and the injustices that is happening with her and her culture, the general introduction of the Muslim culture in a way that is, I hope, in how religion intended it to be. It's like something of a community of loving community that supports each other with its own cliques. They're
mhm,
not, they're not the bad guys here. They did not even kind of like do any form of blatant, heavy-handed racism stuff here. There was like, the Deaver was a little bit, the bad guy there. So I really enjoyed that. And of course, everything that they did with the family, from the mother
mhm.
daughter, father daughter, the brother sister, family dynamic, in law with the wedding, and then your friends being part of your family. All of that just was done. I think chef's kiss perfect. Everything else but the CGI and superhero stuff was so high. And then that's why it just got dropped down to 8. Shabox?
Yeah, I'll go with the 9. The first half was a 10 for me.
Mm.
The
Mm,
first three, and then
yeah.
yeah, because of the lapses in 4 and 5 a little bit, and some of the CGI, I go with the 9. But yeah, just excited for the Marvels. Excited for season 2.
Yeah.
Let's hope we
Because
get it.
I'm just glad that they're finding all these actors that are
Yeah.
non-American. Like Tony Leung, he should have been in Hollywood long time ago.
Yeah. Well,
And maybe this Aisha actress and
she'll pop
Nakia.
up for sure.
I mean, and even Hassan, man. The no wonder, like, yeah, if those two produces an offspring, man, forget it.
Iman Villani
Yeah.
crushed this
It's
role.
a
Like
Oh
revelation.
yeah.
she,
Yeah, because
well,
it's her first acting, and then she's a fangirl, like literally, like she's legit. She's a fangirl, and it's just good. Like
All right. Let's do our final advice to close this episode out. Arnie?
All right. I mean, can't wait for the next one. I think it's She-Hulk,
August.
Andor coming up.
August as
Uh,
well.
so yeah, and Bad Batch is coming up too. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm glad to be back. Great to be hanging out with you guys again. So see you later, Gators.
Chubax?
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, like I said, can't wait for the Marvels and hopefully a season 2. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much for hanging out with us here on the Plus 63 HP podcast. Again, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/plus63HP. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. Let's develop this community of like-minded individuals that like content and enjoying time consuming them. Follow us on our socials, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We are at +63HP. And if you don't want to watch us, listen to us in your favorite podcasting app of choice. We like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. Again, next week we'll have Resident Evil Season 1. We'll also be discussing The Black Phone with Ethan Hawke for our +63 HP reviews episode. And thank you very much. We love you, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.